Hello, Chip Free with Lake Realty. Today we're going to take a look at the Lake Norman market. I put together a custom report. It's unique in that it lets us view all the towns making up the Lake Norman market side by side, even breaking things down by price segments. So let's get started. The Lake Norman market includes the towns of Cornelius, Mooresville, Davidson, Denver, Sherrills Ford, Terrell, Huntersville, and Troutman. I also included Statesville and the Charlotte 28269 zip code in the report because Statesville has waterfront properties up around Windermere Island, and as prices have risen, Statesville is seeing more development and activity overall. I included Charlotte 28269 because it's close enough that buyers considering the Lake Norman area will often explore this area as well. Looking at the report on the median list prices, we see a breakdown by price segments. The top 25%, the two middle segments broken down into the upper and lower 25%, and the bottom 25%, which is not currently shown. The inventory prices in the top three segments are consistently highest in Cornelius, Mooresville 28117, and Davidson. On the other hand, the more affordable inventory is regularly found in Mooresville 28115, Troutman, and Charlotte 28269. As we move along the timeline, we can see that the higher price markets have followed the typical seasonal patterns, with prices peaking during the summer and then decreasing. However, if we look at Mooresville 28115 specifically, we see that the prices of the existing inventory has actually increased and not followed the typical pattern. Next, let's turn to the Market Action Index. In my last video, we discussed individual market reports and how you could access your own reports, and I will leave a link in the description below. On the Market Action Index scale, a score of 30 indicates a neutral market. A score below 30 favors buyers, above 30 favors sellers. Cornelius currently has a score of 44, which is a slight seller's advantage. However, this is a score for all the price segments in Cornelius. When we look at the different price segments, it reveals the nuances of the market. The top 25% and the lower 25% have scores in the 30s, indicating a slight seller's advantage. However, the upper 25% has a score of 52%, indicating a strong seller's market. This is critical information if you're buying or selling in the 1.5 range in Cornelius because sellers can be more aggressive with their pricing and negotiating. As you move along the timeline, you can see that it has steadily increased since September 27th. Now, I want to drop down and look at Mooresville and see how the characteristics can be completely different within a city. When we look at Mooresville as a whole, it has a median list price of $589,000. But when we break it down by zip codes, we see a different picture. 28117, which is west of I-77, has a lot of waterfront homes and communities, and as a result, the median list price is $809,000. While 28115 has the old downtown section of Mooresville, which is going through revitalization, and it has a median list price under $500,000. So if you are buying or selling, we will drill down to your specific price point and location to determine the status of that market. Now, here's a quick look at the Market Action Index ranked by zip codes. Scores range from 34 to 43, indicating a slight seller's advantage, but trending towards the buyers. Now the question is, will they bottom out in January like normal and rise again, or will we see something different? With that in mind, let's jump over and look at inventory. I will go more in depth about inventory pricing and monthly supply in another video. I did want you to see that inventory is up year over year across the board. 25% in Mooresville, 28% in Huntersville, 13% in Cornelius, and 16% in Davidson. Inventory has been so low that it's healthy that inventory was able to grow to give buyers more choices and the market a buffer once demand picks up. Let's shift over to the percentage of listings that have had price decreases. Nationally, about a third of all homes typically see price cuts, peaking in October and November. At this time of the year, more sellers drop their prices to see if they can move the home or if they will pull it off the market and come back on as fresh inventory in the spring. In our market, the percentage of price reductions average higher than the typical third of all listings. We peaked later in December for 2022 and 23. In 2022, it ranged from 42% to 56%. In 2023, the range was 41% to 53%. And this year, we are currently between 39% to 50%. We'll be watching to see if that's the peak for the year or if we will see one more bump in December like previous years. I did want to point out that Davidson, represented by the green line, has had less reductions over the last 2 years, indicating prices are more sticky in this market. Looking at the percentage of price reductions, we haven't really seen anything unusual. It always feels like the market is fundamentally shifting because we've had so many price cuts. But in reality, what's happening is that sellers use comps from the summer when prices are the highest, and they drop their price if they can't get it. That being said, if you're looking to buy, now is really a good time as far as pricing and inventory. We'll leave the interest rate discussion for another day. Well, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you have any questions, please reach out. Thanks.